everyone. I hope you had a great day and you are all having a great evening and a great weekend. This is a special live today. As you know, it's election time, and I find it necessary for us to have a discussion about the election and the importance of why we all need to vote. I'm your host, Marjorie Kola, CEO and founder of Kola Leadership Development, and welcome to the platform of Unleash Your Potential. Usually, we talk about leadership, entrepreneurship, and building community, and the importance of voting is definitely part of building a community. This evening, I am super honored to have with us Councilwoman Mary Esteve Irvine from District 3, North Miami, who will be sharing with us this evening the importance of voting, why we need to vote in this particular election. Good evening, Councilwoman. How are you?
Good evening, Marjorie, and thank you so much for the invitation. I'm doing well, and I'm looking forward to having the conversation, the very important conversation of exercising our civic duty.
Absolutely. This week or the weeks leading up to the election, we are only 3 days away. It's unbelievable that it's already that time. However, there are many people who are still out there trying to think why they need to vote or even questioning why they need to vote this election. As we know what happened in 2016, where some people did not really take the opportunity or the privilege to vote, and the result were very shocking. I'll just be honest. And this time we are seeing a turn, which is great to see. But it's also important for us to talk about why, if anyone out there is doubting the importance of the vote, or if anyone is out there thinking they don't really need to vote, we are going to talk about that in the next hour, especially in our community. Si bon moun de yo a ki poko vote, ki poko pense a rezon fè yo vote, gen pil rezon yo dwe vote, se de sa nou val pale asoya avek Councilwoman Miles Devlin. Okay? So I want to greet my guests, my followers who are following us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you for being here. Bonsoir, Claudia, for being here. You are a great supporter. Really appreciate you. I am asking, no matter where you are following, to please share this live. Share this live in all the group with family members, anyone that you think will benefit for this particular information. So please share the live. Without taking a long time from the Councilwoman, I know you had an extremely busy day. You had several VIPs in the Miami area this week, and today I know you were very active. So thank you for being here. I know you've had a very long day. What is in your mind? What have you been up to, excuse me, and why do you think it's important for people to vote?
Wow, simple but loaded question. So, again, hello to everyone watching. Bonsoir tout moun kap gade nou. Today was a very special day. But before we go into today, just just want to talk to us about doing our civic duty. It is such a privilege that we have in this country that we can exercise our right to vote. So many countries they don't have the say. And so I just wanted to just reach out to you in any election, whether it be presidential election, local election, all elections are important. I cannot think of anything that anybody does in their life that does not involve a politician, someone, you having to vote, legislation, anything that you can pick up, the paper that we use, the water that we drink, the roads that we drive, everything comes back to who's my leader, who's at the table, who are making the decision, who is at the table, politically at the table. So just on that level. So again, this year is the most important election of our lifetime. And I know we hear that every election, and I'm going to tell you the truth, every election are important. But this particular election, this one is an election of a lifetime. Our immigration is on the ballot. Healthcare is on the ballot. Education is on the ballot. Leadership
Mhm.
is on the ballot. Just decency, character, all of those things are on the ballot.
Yeah.
So I just started out, before I tell you who I'm supporting, who you should vote for, what you should do, just as simple as that. As simple as having someone that represents us in the world. Some as simple as when someone speaks, you that you believe what they're saying. That's truth. Science is on the ballot, for goodness sake. So there's so much at stake in this election, and this is why I'm going to say again, this is an election of a lifetime. So, as you know, in less than 70 hours, we're going to be able, you and I will determine who the next president of the United States is. But we shouldn't just leave it at there. In your local area, you should be determining who your senator is going to be, who your state representative is going to be, who your state senator is going to be, who your U.S. senator is going to be, what judges do we have are there going to be, what amendments are being made. All of those things are on the ballot this time and should be taken seriously.
Absolutely. Before we get too deep into the discussion tonight, I would like for you to take a few moments to talk about your journey, and the work you are doing in your particular district in North Miami.
So thank you. So I am first a proud mom, a proud single mom. I have a gentleman that is in his first year of college right now. Outside of that, I'm a small business owner. I had and I have a staffing and recruiting agency, and that I've had for many years. I took a little break, and now I'm going back to doing that. And what I do now is I am a public servant, and I enjoy being an elected public servant, serving my communities. I started serving the community since in the early 2000s, but in 2007 in particular, I started zeroing in and servicing my Haitian community. I can tell you that I have played so many roles as an activist, as a campaign manager, and now as an elected councilwoman for the city of North Miami, in particular District 3. I had the privilege of electing the first Haitian American county commissioner in the United States of America at the time, which is Commissioner Jean Monestine. And since I've helped elect so many others, and in turn they helped elect me last year, June 2019. So it's a pleasure for me to serve to the public at large, but in particular, being of Haitian descent, to be able to immediately serve my Haitian community where I am.
That's definitely a tremendous honor. Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
love the fact that you first started with being a mother for the single parent. Big up to all the single parents who are out there. It's definitely not an easy task to be raising children or a child and being able as well to continue to be successful as a businesswoman, as a public servant. So definitely a great accomplishment for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How has it been the feeling for you to be of service to our community?
I'm sorry.
How has the feeling been for you to be of
Oh,
service?
it is a pleasure. I have been my entire family, honestly. Growing up, I this is all that I saw that my parents did. My house was Grand Central Station, pretty much, with revolving doors, with immigrants coming from Haiti looking for a better life, serving, serving people. I mean, my parents are paying for people's education. They're doing this. So service has always been a part of my being, and that's what I do. So serving my community, I do it with all my heart. It's a passion of mine, to be able to serve. When you get a phone call about as big as garbage pickup, or doing a youth passing an ordinance for a youth council to make sure that our kids are involved. Implementing programs for the seniors. Sometimes just reading documents so that they could understand what the document is. Just helping on all levels has been a pleasure.
That's definitely that's wonderful. So if we talk about today specifically, you've been now campaigning all months leading to this week, and I know today you had Senator Harris in the area campaigning and energizing folks. How would you describe the energy you've seen in the community this time around versus last?
So I definitely see that we are fired up, like Obama used to say, and ready to go. We are definitely fired up, but we cannot be complacent. And then again, in Obama's word, we cannot be lazy. I've seen it, but I've also heard the conversations of, oh, okay, Magueta, oh, okay, later. That's so scary to me. So yes, we're voting, but we need to vote more. On average, only about 17 to 20% of registered voters participate. So we can always do more. So this morning, like you said, I started my morning with listening to Kamala Harris that came to visit us in South Florida, had us fired up, ready to go, and asking us to, continue to vote for all of those reasons, for the immigration, for health, for education, for climate change, for all those reasons that we should continue to vote. But I don't know if you realize that everybody is zeroing in Florida, because at the end of the day, Florida will decide who the next president of the United States is. And let me go into even a little bit deeper.
Absolutely. And that's the purpose of this. Yes.
Miami-Dade County will determine the next president of the United States. Everything is counted. Now let me throw some statistics at you.
Absolutely.
We have about 600 that we think, it could be more, 600,000 Caribbean throughout the state of Florida. Out of that 600,000 Caribbean, so we're talking Jamaicans, Haitian, Trinidadians, all of the Caribbeans. So now out of that, we have 275,000 that we have identified that are Haitian that can vote.
Repeat that number again, please.
We have about 275,000 that we've identified that are registered voter in the state of Florida.
Wow.
That can vote.
I didn't know it was that much.
In Miami-Dade County, we have identified about 110,000 Haitian registered voters. Let me blow your mind. Our current president won the state of Florida with 113,000 votes. So the Haitian community alone in South Florida can decide that we have a new president. That if we are voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, which I endorse wholeheartedly, if we decided the Haitian community alone, that's nobody else's vote, the Haitian community alone could decide who the next president of the United States is.
This is a tremendous news, because I thought that New York was leading in terms of the Haitian community, but I didn't expect to have that volume here in Florida. And no matter which station you tune to, Florida is what they've been talking about, and to know that we are empowered because we have the privilege, we have the right to go and vote. It's something that we must not overlook. We must not take this for granted. We need to go out there and vote. And if you have already voted, please help someone, take someone to their polling and help them.
That has been my challenge. I've been talking. So like you said, I started my day with Kamala Harris. I went on to talk to the Haitian radio. And when I went on, and one of my pleas was, look, the challenge is you that voted already, thank you for voting. But guess what? Your work hasn't stopped. I challenge everyone to take 5 people, and to go out to vote. Today is already too late. Here in South Florida, or at least in North Miami, early voting is from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, I don't know what it's like all over Florida, so you need to find out what the early voting schedule is like. Tomorrow, in most places that have early voting, tomorrow is the last day. Guess what, guys? You need to go out and vote. And if you have voted already, make it your business to find people to go out and vote. Start right in your backyard. Did you take your 18-year-old child that just registered to vote, that probably doesn't understand the importance that you need to motivate? Did you motivate that child? I had to literally take my son and say, hey, let's go vote. Him, his girlfriend, and his friend, we all went to the library and they all voted for the first time. You know, are we doing that? Are we checking up on our seniors that did not get an absentee ballot and needs a ride to go and vote? I mean, il est extrêmement important que nous commencer, go down your phone list. Do something as simple as sending a text. You must vote. You must vote. You must vote. Suggest to them what you want, how you want them to vote. I do that. You know, I'm encouraging everyone again. And even though I want to be fair and say everybody should exercise their right to vote, but I endorse Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And I encourage everyone to support them, especially the Haitian community. Why should you support them?
Why?
Okay, this is for the first time in history that we have a presidential candidate that has an agenda for the Haitian community, that says that within 100 days that he's going to get there, he's going to stop deportation. That says he's going to have, improve the DACA program, where he's going to, allow for them to be able to get financial aid. We're going to have our students, our loved ones that are in Haiti, the students that want to come here to study, extend their student visa. And he's not going to be hostile towards immigrants that are here. The people that are here on TPS that have been here for years and years and years, he's going to give them a pathway to getting their residency and eventually becoming a citizen, if that's what they would like to do. So there's a lot, but here's how you can believe that what his words are true. He's a candidate, and two of the highest staff members in his campaign are two Haitian women.
That's right.
Both of them. Joe Biden has Karine Andre, which is a senior advisor in South Florida. And then we have Karine Jean-Pierre, which is the chief of staff of Kamala Harris.
That's right.
So if any community should feel involved and feel engaged and should have a reason to vote, that should be the Haitian community. Now, obviously, just because they're Haitian, yes, we're going to work for the Haitian community, but it's going to be for America. But then you do know that you have a person that is thinking about us. Parce que pendant campagne, même il pas l'élu n'a pas pression que c'est là ça que communauté haïtienne a dit et nous-mêmes we need to be at the table. Non. Li montre nous déjà que il y a un monde qui chita sous table déjà qu'a parlé qu'a dit et preuve de ça, he made sure que vini Little Haiti Cultural Center. Il parlait avec tout élu haïtien yo. Il parlait avec nous et il demandait nous pour nous supporter lui parce que lui-même l'a supporté nous. Let's go what he did a couple of years ago. In 2010, when we had the earthquake, Joe Biden was there fighting for us under the Obama administration. So he has already shown that he will fight for us. Again, Joe will be president for all of America. Like he said, whether you voted for him or not, he will be your president. But I am assured as a Haitian American that I know I have someone that I can go to the White House and say, my local community needs this. My local community needs that. And I know that I will have an ear at the White House. Now, while we're on that subject, like we were talking earlier, I'm happy to say that, yes, vote for president, for a president candidate, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Don't forget, wherever you are, to vote for the U.S. senator there, the congressperson there, the state representative there, the state senator there, the judges there, whether you want to support or not support, that are affecting our kids. Whether one of the things that I like to say, there are a couple of things that we will encounter in our lives. You're going to have an attorney at one point in your life.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to deal with an accountant at one point in your life. Everyone should have a spiritual leader, pastor, priest. You should have that. And everyone should know who their elected official is. on all levels. So,
Absolutely.
so that is so important.
This is a great point because I've heard so many comments and concerns leading to this week, of course, and some of the concerns that I've heard in our own community and elsewhere as well was the fact that during the 8 year of the Obama Biden administration, some people felt as if they did not stand up strong enough to support us, or they did not make enough decision that truly supported our needs or our efforts. There is something extremely important I think we need to share with the public, and you already touched on that, is the importance and the need to not only vote for the presidential candidates, but also for the Senate. Because what did we see during the time that President Obama was in the White House? They were not always able to get things done because they did not control the Senate.
Exactly.
What let's talk about that a little bit further, please.
So, like I said again, it is important that we equipped, excuse me, the president that we are wanting to send. So in my case, I'm supporting a Democratic ticket. So it is so important that we you just dim it down. Do your homework obviously, but support the Democratic Party. Why? Because it's what there are three branches, and we know. So when you send the president there, he has two other branches that he has to deal with. And so if he doesn't have the support, how is he going to do some of the things that he can do? Now, there are certain things he'll have an executive order, he'll use some powers, but the true power is in actually voting bottom up, believe it or not. That's actually the true power in it to be able to equip him to work and our vice president to work and do the work that they said that they're going to do for our community. So that is extremely important. As you can see right now, even through this election, another thing that I want to highlight are county races. That's extremely important. Where are all the votes being determined on the county level? There is the supervisor of elections of that county that's going to say, okay, this is what the county, this is where we are. So it is also important that you know who you're electing, what county commissioner you're electing, what county mayor that you are electing. So again, it's we all this is all in concert. But believe it or not, your local election affect you even closer. But you need to have those local people to be your voice, to be able to go to in our case Tallahassee, and then also to be able to go to DC.
Right.
So, but if anyone else that's listening to us outside of Florida, wherever, whatever city you're in, whatever county that you're in, you need to pay attention. So that you need to pay attention. You need to go out and vote so that you empower those persons that are serving you.
Absolutely. I want to take a quick minute to welcome everyone who is currently following us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I look to the side every now and then because one of my accounts is independent to my mainstream. Just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this time to be part of this live. This live is for you. I love when my audience asks questions. Send in your inputs. What are you seeing? What are you hearing in your area? If you have any questions, any concerns, please share them with us so we are able to all talk about it as a community. Whether you are here in Florida or no matter where you are, this is an extremely important time for all of us. And before you know it, Tuesday night is going to be here, and we cannot be complacent thinking they have been talking about how early voting numbers have pretty much broke the record. It's great to hear that. That should not be a sign to say, "Oh, then I'm fine." No,
Right, absolutely.
your vote counts. Go out there and let your voice be heard through your vote. So please, 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 if you are watching, share this live and go with friends. It is great that I have you here today. And thank you once again, Councilwoman, because I know you've had an extremely busy month, week, and day, but you took the time to be here with us. I truly appreciate that. I want to touch on something that is a little bit more personal for you and I, and also parents who are watching us. So when we think about the Black community, the Black Lives Matter movement, excuse me, as parents, I know you have an 18-year-old son. Why do you think it's important even more now to go out there and vote?
Um, you know, one of the reasons why I'm so excited and proud of the Biden Harris ticket is because our community, Black people, can see someone that looks like them, that understands them. We're not all going to understand everything, but overall understand the Black experience and is at the table and can speak to that. You know, you have a president right now that doesn't understand that Black lives matter. You know, sometimes there's the rhetoric that all lives matter. Yes, of course, all lives matter. So if all lives matter, why is there, a disparity with the Black community?
Mhm.
Or with any other community, Black and brown community. Again, this election is so important that I have someone that is elected there that is sensitive, or and someone else that's on his side that can say, wait a second, the angle that you're looking at this is not. This is the angle that you should be looking at. Understand, help him to understand um, the Black experience, even though he did work with Obama and was exposed to that. But under that regime, I believe that Obama opened the door for us. And now with Kamala Harris being on that ticket, being in the ear of this, God willing, our future president, I truly believe that the concerns that we have for our Black sons, and yes, I've had that talk. Patrick, be careful when you go out there. Don't wear the hoodie. Ever since Trayvon Martin, don't wear the hoodie. And he's like, well, mom, I should be able to wear the hoodie. That's not fair. You're right. But unfortunately, the color of your skin can cause some doubt. And so I want someone to be at the table, to be sensitive, so that maybe one day I don't have to say, oh, you can't wear your hoodie, because the hoodie is there to be worn, and so someone would be able to say, look, just because he's wearing his hoodie, that doesn't mean that he's not educated. It doesn't mean that he's doing things that he's not supposed to do. Just because he doesn't look like something else, it doesn't mean that he's a profile for something else. So again, this election means so much to Black people in general, that we have people that are at the table that will understand and that would speak on our behalf.
Absolutely. I'm gonna break and clear off quickly here because I think il est important pour nous comprendre partie ça ou bien pour nous renforcer l'idée ça. Le moins tap fil balet, moins garder tout son responsabilité liée que m'te pour me prendre. Fin voter pour président, descendre garder pour voter. Et le arrivé dans parti local là, juge avec quelques amendements que dans balette là, il prend un petit temps pour me garder, pour me lire, pour me comprendre qui information qu'il a donné, ok? Et qui candidat qu'il a donné. Une chose qui passe dans la tête moi, c'est un pile fois, depuis qu'on a voté le président, il est fini, ok? Mais il est vraiment important pour nous parler déjà pour prendre temps pour garder, pour voter local. Le, n'a parlé de brutalité policière, ok? Juge n'a voté pour prendre décision sur famille, sur petit, tout ça nous a fait. Board of Education, mon qui va décider est-ce que si vous nous retourner à l'école ou bien est-ce qu'avec la caillou, qui je nous va faire pour nous mettre un budget qui pour supporter l'école là, pour être capable vraiment suivre physical distancing dans l'école là, tout ça c'est décision que nous avons fait pendant la voté. Président c'est plus gros ticket oui. Mais local là, c'est extrêmement important le nous avons choisi juge, nous avons choisi Board of Education. Il est vraiment important que nous comprenions ça. Et je pense que la communauté a spécialement besoin plus d'aide dans ce sens pour vraiment prendre temps avant que vous voter, pour make sure que vous compreniez ce qui est dans la lettre là. Pour nous-mêmes, c'est le travail que nous sommes capables de faire, nous sommes capables d'aider. Et des gens qui pensent qu'ils sont capables pas vraiment comprendre, mais ils comprennent les gens pour faire choix ça. Parce que les moments qui arrivent, nous plaignons, nous parlons en pile, mais parler en pile, on parle des moyens. Le nou gen chwa pou nou fè desisyon sa, pou nou vote, li ekstremement important ke nou vote, se pou dit alè ya, bottom up. Depi yon ba monte, pou nou vote, pou prezentant ki pal konse avèk nou, ki pal fè desisyon ki a proteje nou avèk fami nou. Tout sa nan ki fè pou al vote ya.
Oui, comme vous faites et souligner, il est extrêmement important que nous votions pas seulement pour le président, mais nous considérer voter pour toute l'autre position. Commencer de magistrat et notre civil, juste dans le county, juste dans député, juste dans le Sénat. Parce que imaginez que l'autre problème, c'est un councilwoman ou bien un councilman ou bien un magistrat vilain qui a des problèmes dans le vent. Et puis après ça, c'est lui-même qui parle avec pour nous dans le county. Et puis c'est county qui parle et aller dans l'État de Floride, dans Tallahassee, pour discuter. Et puis moun sa yo même yo parler d'ici. Et puis yo parler pour nous. Même aide à l'immédiat, plusieurs fois, c'est local que lié. C'est extrêmement important que nous focus, que nous pas seulement aller buffer et pour le président, que nous quitter toute l'autre ratio. Parce que, gens que Marjorie fait mentionner, juge, c'est eux-mêmes, c'est pour que nous connaissions qui juge qui là, qui tendance juge qui là, qui juge petit nous, qui juge voisin nous, ok? Et peut-être que même ou pas, j'ai une bonne chance pour aller dans le tribunal, mais ou pas un petit tout qui aller pour quelques raisons. Et c'est pas obligé, il y a des fois, nous comprenons le tribunal, c'est seul on dans la prison, non. Il y a des fois que il y a l'autre jugement, un discours de business, un discours de toute l'autre chose, et on a besoin d'un monde qui connaît, qui allait dans le même sens, qui n'a intérêt communauté pour là, ou bien dans le sens qui peut garder la loi comme ça doit. So, c'est extrêmement important que nous ne pas oublier et moun sa yo.
Une autre question encore, moi, à poser qui touche nous encore. Qui j'ai senti est-ce que pour la première fois, nous avons un candidat qui possiblement capable de vice-président, qui non seulement c'est une fille, mais c'est une fille qui a un diverse background. It's a woman with a very diverse background of Caribbean, and Indian. How do you feel about that?
Très fier. Moi, très fier. And, to all my men out there, you've been doing a lot of great things. We love it. Mais, les très fier pour nous être en femme. Et puis, les noirs. Et puis, she's Caribbean. And she's a Caribbean that hired a Haitian woman to be her chief of staff.
It's just amazing.
I love it. And then she's an educated Black woman. Can stand toe to toe with anyone. So I am très fier de ça. Que moi-même, I'm going to call it already, that our next vice president is going to be a femme, a Jamaican Indian. A Caribbean person, a Asian person, a lot of diversity. So she understands a lot of the walks of this life, and she'll be able to see it from different angle and have a well-balanced judgment, have well-balanced advice to our future president, God willing.
And that's definitely something that is great and beyond proud when you think about the level of inclusion that she's experienced and she's able to bring to the table, understanding what it's like to be a minority, being raised by a single mother,
Yes.
for the majority of her life. It's just, when you think about the people who are sending to sit at the table on our behalf, we really have to think who will be the best person to represent your need, your community, and your family's need, and overall our country's need. Because I think this election is
This country first.
so crucial. There are so many unanswered questions. There are so many problems per se out there that we really need to know how. I have this saying I always like to add when I tweet or post something, to be intentional. And I think we truly need to be intentional with our decision.
Yes, absolutely.
So what is your activity look like for the remaining of the week leading up to
So
Tuesday?
for the remainder Until Tuesday, we're just going to be pushing out the vote. I'm going to go to church tomorrow to talk to honor a pastor and present a proclamation to him. But at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and motivate our Christian base to come out and vote, and the importance of voting. Obviously, in church, I'm not going to necessarily give my position to at church, but I will encourage people to vote, and it is a right. You pay property tax. You should be a part of the decision making, and you should exercise your right to vote. And I'm just going to continue. I'm literally going to go and pick up people to vote. I'm going to go in my community, continue to speak on radio, continue to have the conversations that I'm having with you, challenging people that already voted to go out and get 5 more people to vote. If we all just go out and get 5 more people, and if we can do it tomorrow and on Tuesday, if you have the luxury and you can take the day off, volunteer or give a couple of hours. I mean, this is crucial. Souka aidé et le mardi aidé et lundi sou te ka pour un cahier pour aller dans téléphone ou chercher tout le monde ou connaît voyer texte et puis demander est-ce qu'on te voté ou pas voté. Find out where they need to vote. Help them out. Go on the computer and find out. On election day, you have to go to your precinct. Go to your precinct. Do you know where your precinct is? I mean, offer them a ride. I mean, I'm going to do everything that is necessary to be able to change this administration.
So I have this one question that just came in on the Twitter feed that's not showing up here.
Okay.
The person is asking, what is the relationship between our decision with this election here has to do on Haiti? If any. Big question.
Well, what this president or this potential president has stated is that he will encourage that elections are done in the right way that he will. He will not meddle in our election process. So that's one of the I shouldn't say the promises, but that's one of his platform for the Haitian community is to help us to go through the democracy, just like we experience it here, to go to a healthy democracy, a healthy election in Haiti, and to help facilitate that without meddling, to encourage the people to choose who they need and who they want to serve them. So that's what I think. I know that will happen. He's not going to handpick a president like a lot of times that has been done, but he's going to encourage that a democracy process happens just like it happens here in the United States.
Thank you for answering, and I hope the person who asked the question is satisfied with the answer. I know he was in the area and spend time with not only the community, but probably spend time with you guys as the elected official. And I've heard some of the comments that he made. I know you are part of NEON, which is the National Haitian Elected Official.
Yes.
You guys have been very active. You've been doing rallies and pretty much energizing the basic community to go and vote. Give us some of the not secrets, but what's happening within that community, the NEON team by itself. What are you guys working on to get our community to be out there?
So the first thing that I want to do is I want to really salute our chairman, Dr. Alex Desulme, which is also the vice mayor of the city that I serve. So I serve with Dr. Alex Desulme, and he is our vice mayor. I also want to salute my mayor, Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé as well. And I have the pleasure of working with both of them, which are very active in NEON. This year, our chairman did not play. He decided that, we need to be engaged. This is a serious election. So everywhere that we had Haitian elected official, we organized with another organization like HAVE, which I serve with Vanessa Joseph, which is the elected clerk of our city, as well as the chairwoman of HAVE, where we've collaborated with a whole lot of other organizations. For example, October 24th was National Early Voting Day, where we had caravans throughout the states where Haitians are throughout the United States to encourage the vote. We also have a PAC, that we just spearheaded, again, to do voter education and to encourage people to get out the vote. In the next couple of hours, our streets are going to be flooded with persons that are just saying, "You didn't vote. You have another day. You can vote. You can either vote tomorrow or you can go on election day." But we're asking everyone, we want to win this tomorrow. But in order for us to win this, everybody has to go out to vote. We really want to win by early voting. We really want to say that, you know what, we have banked all of the votes most of the votes that we need, and election day is just cherry on the ice cream. But regardless, but you know what? Maybe some people may not have the luxury to vote tomorrow and they can only vote on Tuesday. That's fine. We're just encouraging everyone to vote. So Neon has been taking a big lead in motivating all of motivating all of the elected officials to motivate their communities to go out and vote. Encore, en créole, je veux dire en créole, pour tout le monde qui attend de moi, moi voulais encore saluer et chairman Nouan et Alix Ezulme. Et moi, je voulais saluer collègue moi et magistrat et Philippe Bien-Aimé qui fait partie de NION, qui travaille dur, tout élu haïtien qui dans tout état aux États-Unis. Nous avons élu qui Alabama, nous avons élu qui New York, nous avons élu qui Boston, nous avons plusieurs élus Georgia. OK, tout élu ça yo mobilisé pour convaincre communauté, spécialement communauté haïtienne là, pour que vous puissiez voter. Like I told you, ici dans Floride, là, m'a répété encore, si communauté haïtienne décide pour voter, c'est communauté haïtienne même qui a choisi président. Parce que nous perdu Miami-Dade County, j'aime te dire encore, pour 113 000 voix. Let me say it in English, so just in case I said the numbers wrong, 113,000 votes that we lost Florida. Nous gagnons à peu près 110 000 Haïtiens qui habitent ici dans Miami-Dade. Nous avons à peu près 275 000 Haïtiens qui habitent dans Floride. Ça, c'est le numéro que nous croyons. Et nous avons plus, oui, nous croyons. Nous satisfaits pour nous dire que nous gagnons ça, mais nous avons plus. Parce que les Haïtiens qui sont mariés avec étrangers, qui ne pas reconnaître, non, mais ça So, bien ça. So, encore, c'est ça que Neon commandé à Chita mobiliser peuple là dans tout États-Unis, côté des Haïtiens, pour voter. Je parle de la Floride seulement, et Floride et Haïtiens qui New York, et ça qui Georgia. And Georgia's at play. For the first time, Georgia is really at play. So, Haïtiens qui dans Georgia, ça fait différence dans tout. Georgia's at play. Nous avons Haïtiens qui Texas. Texas is at play.
Absolutely.
And we have a mayor in Texas. So that's it.
I have a question. There's a question on Facebook that I will be sharing with you. But before I go to that question, I want to stay with Neon a little bit. So we have seen a change in the Haitian community coming to civil public service. I'm very happy and very proud to see that a lot more of our Haitian sisters and brothers are coming to take part and serve their community.
Yes.
When you think about that, do you think that we will see more of our compatriots join the political arena?
Absolutely. This election season, we had a slew, I forget the number, I don't want to say it, but I want to say we had over 10 Haitian women right here in South Florida running for office.
Yeah, I saw that.
We currently have, and I'll name a couple. I endorse Gypsy Metellus. So if anyone is listening, Gypsy Metellus is running for county commissioner, she would be the first Haitian woman if she were to win, and potentially the only Black woman on that dais.
There.
So anybody, please support Gypsy Metellus, a great leader, been serving the community for over 20 years. So go ahead and support. So we'll have that. We have Linda Julian that is running in the city of Miami Gardens. Again, would be the first Haitian woman elected in Miami Gardens, serving her community. In North Miami Beach, we have a slew of people that I don't want to get in trouble because there are a couple of them running. I say support the best Haitian you know, but there are some incumbents that I will mention. We have Mackenzie Fleury-Moore that's running for North Miami Beach. So I definitely support him. We have Michael Joseph that is running in North Miami Beach. Support him. And they have their colleagues. I want to shout out to Paul Villar, she is currently elected, and she is supporting. She is working hard for her brothers to stay on that dais. Kudos to her. So I'm telling you, we have it. We have some judge that just won. We have a judge that sworn me in, Phoebe Francois. Congratulations again, Phoebe. She won this past election. We have Lodi Jean, which has been appointed as judge. So excited. So I'm telling you, I see this trend. We are going to have a lot of Haitian Americans putting their hats into the ring. And you know what I like about the slew that is coming? Yes, they happen to be Haitian American, but they'll be serving the public at large. They are able to serve any public that is in the community that they serve, whether it be Latino, whether it be Anglo, whether it be whatever it is. They are able, they equip, they are smart, they are capable of serving, and they will serve. They just happen to be of Haitian descent. So that's the beauty of it all. So they're not only serving just in predominantly Haitian communities. They are serving in any community, and they are able to do that. And I'm so proud of it.
That's beautiful. As you were saying that, I follow Asian American candidates, and I was looking at my list as you were calling them out. It's definitely, there's a sense of pride. Think about this. When not only you are a foreigner to a country, you've come in, you've done what you had to do to get yourself right, because you have to get yourself right, and you get to a point where you are serving, you are giving back by not only supporting your community, but supporting your community at large. It doesn't stay with you being just Haitian. You are serving, as a public officer, so you are basically supporting everyone. I do want to ask you a few questions about your responsibilities specifically, but before we do that, we do have one question from Facebook that I'm going to put on the screen for you.
Okay, so it's in Creole, so you have to read it for me, please.
So, Mr. Dupaval, thank you for the question, and he's asking, Monday Councilwoman estime comment li pran menace Quad Boy yo ap fait pour mettre pays ya nan kao si candidat yo a perdu. Basically, qui sont pensés de pile monde qui ont dit intimidé de ça qui a passé, qui sont pensés de menace Quad Boy ou n'importe quoi groupe a fait, qui a peut-être intimidé monde pour vraiment speak up ou bien pour faire ça yo de faire.
I don't know why, but I'm definitely not intimidated, and I don't think that we should be intimidated. We should be vigilant, but not intimidated. One thing I can say, and this is why it's so important to vote this president out. This democracy was set up to protect us. Do they have the right to say what they want to say? Yes, they do. But we also have that, have a right to make sure that we can stand up to them and we can say what we want to say. And that's why it's important to have people at play for you to vote, and to put people in place that can stand up and speak up as well, and make sure that there are measures that are not taken to allow anyone to harm us. That's why you need a leader of character, someone that understands that there is something called freedom of speech, but that will not give a tenor for violence or that will not a tenor for violence or supporting white supremacy and that sort. Our vote is our voice, and we need to continue and not let anyone intimidate us. This should be a motivation to go to the poll.
Absolutely.
It should be a motivation to go and show them, because I believe we are stronger in number than they are. I definitely believe that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Great question, and thank you definitely, Councilwoman, for answering. Now, I want to come back quickly to your particular responsibility as a councilwoman. What are the perimeter of your responsibility as a councilwoman?
So, believe it or not, as a councilwoman, what the charter says that I need to do is I need to pass a budget, I need to pass ordinances and resolution. I need to hire a city manager. I need to hire or fire a city manager, hire or fire a city attorney. So those are the basic things that are my responsibility as an elected official. But as you know, in our community, we do a whole lot more. We end up doing a whole lot of social services. We end up doing a whole lot of educating, like I'm doing right now. In our communities, some communities are fortunate that you can just send an email, you can send letters, and everything is okay. In our community, we're getting there, but we're not there yet. Sometimes, outside of sending a text, outside of sending an email, I literally have to go knock on your door and tell them about the programs that we have, the opportunities that we have. During COVID, during this pandemic, for example, some of the things that I can say that we proudly have done in our city is that we immediately had rental assistant. We then backed it up with mortgage assistant. We backed it up with utilities assistance. We participated in a lot and still continue to participate a lot of food distribution, because when this pandemic hit, it didn't care about your race, your party, whether you were Democrat or Republican. It didn't care that you were old or young. At first, there was that saying that, oh, it was only the older folk, but
Perception.
realizing that there were young folks that were getting it as well. It didn't matter. So we immediately had to put on our put on our hats, roll up our sleeves, put on some gloves, literally put on a mask, and go and serve the people. Because at one point we were locked down, and no one could go anywhere. And even when we were locked down, I actually still took out the time to help people, COVID-19 style, social distancing style, where we would put the food on the porch for them, ring the bell, step back so that they can have, some things to eat, and then later on, when because of the shutdown, we had to address the economic problems. That's why we had the rental assistance. That's why we had the mortgage assistance. And then, furthermore, my colleagues and I, we voted to also have mental health available for them. So because a lot of people, believe it or not, were traumatized by this. When you're not, when you have loved ones that you cannot even go visit in a nursing home, parents, mothers, fathers, grandparents passed away and couldn't attend the funeral, have to now look at funerals through Zoom. So all of that, so those are some of the things that are not necessarily our role, but we had to kind of take place and do those things, step in because of the pandemic.
Because I've seen you out there doing all kinds of stuff. Where I've seen you for soup, I've seen you with food, I've seen you out there doing a whole different task outside of your primary role. It's definitely
Even
be able to
even
give service.
even for school, even though school was being done at home, there are some parents that some families that didn't have internet access or didn't have a laptop. So we gave some laptops. You're muted. Oh, we gave so we gave some laptops to some families. We intervened to make sure that they had internet access so that the kids can do the work.
I mean, especially with school, this is such a great point because our community, the kids, some of the kids are suffering the disparity and language barrier, parents not being able to help them, technical aspect, to know. And that's why it's important when you have people out there who understands your challenges, your concerns, and are able to make decision or help make decision on your behalf.
Mhm.
These are all the reason why it's so crucial that we know who are the leaders in the community, who to go to and how to get to them, but more importantly, how to vote to get them into
Yes,
office.
or to keep them in office.
Keep them.
When
Them. There were
they're doing the
several
work.
women earlier this week. It was great to see them. Like George Phoebe is one of them. To see that she was able to stay and continue to serve the
Yes.
community. Um,
And another one that was able to stay, and she's doing a marvelous job in our community, is State Representative Dottie Joseph, which I have the pleasure of serving or working with her as part of my district. She represents part of my district. So you're right.
That's absolutely great. We have about more minutes to go.
Okay.
I do have a thank you from Mr. Dupervald saying thank you for
Thank you,
the
Dr.
comments. So thank you so much. If this is a great time, if you have questions and you are live with us, please do not hesitate to ask. If you have any feedback, concerns, anything, please do engage with us. We love that. In the last 5 minutes, any anything else you think you wanna share with our audience? Any final words of encouragement? You've shared a lot of advice in terms of how people can help if they haven't vote. Make sure that they go out and vote. How they can help. You've given great ideas like driving people to the polls, to people calling people, texting. You know, anything else that you think you need to share with the audience before we close?
Yes, so let me share a little bit about the process in terms of voting. So there are some of you that are voting by mail. If you are voting by mail, please, please, please do not mail it to the post office. There are some drop boxes that you can still, and I believe tomorrow will be the last day for those drop boxes. For example, in my county, on Monday, you can give the absentee ballot, but you have to go to the Department of Elections. The supervisors of election have to have it. At the end of the day, your ballot has to be in by election day at 7 o'clock. So if you have a ballot in your hand because you forgot you did it already and you forgot, do not put it in the mail. Walk it to your early voting site or put it in the drop box. M'a dit ça en créole parce que ça très important. Si
Oui, oui,
ou ap voté par la poste, pa voye ou absenti pa voye par la poste. Genyen on drop box que yo genyen na early voting site yo que ou ka ale déterminer côté drop box sa ye et puis al remettre bulletin en là. Ou bien ou ka ale remettre bulletin ou voter instead et pendant que au présent ou ka fait ça. Another thing is early voting. The last day in most places that I know, at least in my county, the last day is tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I'm begging you and I'm telling you that go and vote. The lines may be long because it's the last day. Guess what? Please, if you know that, bring a chair so you can sit. Bring some snacks. It is worth it. It is worth it for immigration to stand in line. It is worth it for health care, Obamacare, to keep that and to improve that, to stay in line. It is worth it for the education of our kids to stay in line. So please, it's the last day tomorrow. You know how we are. We wait last minute, and so don't get discouraged. Even if it rains, I challenge you. Even if it's going to rain, look at the forecast. Bring your umbrella. Stay in line. Stay in line. It is that deep. It is that important. So I hope that you realize that. But for you that are going to vote on election day, make a plan. Know what time you're going to vote and know where your precinct is. You know what? Take your kid, even if your kid is under 18, let's start teaching our kids the importance and the excitement of voting from a young age. Let's start teaching them that. Even if they can't vote, take them to the poll, make them wear their mask, do it at COVID-19 style, and teach them and tell them what you're doing. Show them that you're doing. Hopefully you're voting for the Biden-Harris ticket. But you know what? At the end of the day, it is also important that you exercise your right to vote. Whoever you vote for, take your kid with you and show them the process. You know, we come from a background that our parents back in the days, it was so taboo because we had dictatorship and politics was a no-no. You didn't talk about that. So that's not usually a comfortable subject for us to talk about. I hope we're growing and we're graduating from that we need to realize that we need to go out and we need to vote. And we need to start to teach them from young. L'autre communauté yo connaît. Depuis ti moun yo gen 18 ans yo connaît pour faire ti moun yo voter. And not only that, let's take a habit of donating for campaigns. It's too late now. So I'm just throwing in that because I'm sure we'll continue to have conversations as elections are approaching to be a part. If you cannot donate money, donate your time. But anyway, now let's stay present. Donate your time to on Tuesday. Help out. After you voted, the challenge, take that challenge and take 5 more people to vote. It is that serious. This is an election of our lifetime. Élection, ça c'est plus et gros élection que n'a vivre dans moment ça. This is an election that we're doing through a pandemic. Pendant que nous avons pandémique, nous avons élection. L'élection est tellement important, même avec pandémique, là, nous sommes obligés à voter. Pour que nous puissions contrôler la pandémie. Là.
Absolument.
Parce que si nous avons un leader qui a un plan national, au global, au national, excuse-moi, pour la pandémie, là, moi, je crois que c'est Joe Biden qui a gagné. on moun kap koute the science. We had a president today that are saying that, oh, the doctors are just exaggerating on COVID and they're lying and they're making money and they're saying patients are dying of COVID when it's not true. Guys, I know that somebody that you know listening to me right now died of COVID. I know I've had a couple of people that even though they were not my immediate family members, died from COVID or no
Several of my
that
several
know
of
from
my
COVID.
UX team members.
I remember I'm originally from New York. There was a point every day somebody's mother, father, grandmother was dying, and I was assisting funerals through Zoom.
Mm.
So this is real. This is real and this is serious, and we need a serious person in the White House. So please go out and vote. And if you're like me, I've already voted for Biden Harris, and I encourage you to vote. But at the end of the day, but don't leave. But remember, let's vote bottom up. From the local to the president. Let's do that.
Madam, thank you so much, Councilwoman. It was great having you here. It was very important that we take the time to educate, to remind people of why it's important to vote this season. Based on my experience waiting to go in, a few things I would add is please make sure you have your picture ID with you because
Yes.
without it, you will spend hours in line, you will not be able to vote. Bring a pen with you in your pocket. Now they're doing a great job by sanitizing the pens after
Depends, yes.
where I went, I saw that, which was great. But
Yeah.
if you can bring a pen with you, bring it with you so it's easier. Have your picture ID ready to go. When you get there, please be disciplined. Turn off your cell phone. It's not the time to be on your cell phone because follow the instructions.
I I have one more thing that I find to be
Absolutely.
very important to say that I almost forgot to say. When you're talking about the ID, make sure that you have an ID. Now, if you don't have you have an ID that has a picture, but it doesn't have your name, you can use that picture and you can use a debit card. There are other forms of ID besides your passport, besides your license. If you have your homeowners association, if there's an ID that they provide you, you could use that. If you have a student ID, you can use that. They just need to make sure that they see a picture and a signature. So you can combine a couple of things. So that's also important. But worst case scenario, if there's an issue, you can ask for a provisional ballot. That is so important. Let's just say that there's an issue. Ask for a provisional ballot, and then before November 5th, you can fix whatever the problem is. So let's say you voted by mail and you see that you don't see that it's been tracked, that they receive your ballot. You can go and ask, listen, I want to do a provisional ballot just to secure, because you have 2 days afterwards to go ahead and cure that vote, to make sure that you present whatever documents you need to make sure that your vote counts. Because there's going to be a vote that we get, but then there's going to be a certified vote. Okay, so you want to make sure that your vote counts. So it's important. Obviously, we don't want a lot of people voting provisional. We want you to be able to vote. But if you have an issue and you're going somewhere and they're saying that this is not correct, say, you know what, I want a provisional ballot. So si ke wale, it's important pour dire que moi vle en bulletin provisoirement. Yo obligé ba ou. OK? Et puis après ça, ou ka vini, ou ka retourner dans le département d'élection avec proper ID ou tout bagage ça yo pour yo ka compter vote là et puis vote là à bon. OK? Et elle a compté, elle a fait partie de contrôle là. So it's important. I'm sorry. I was so passionate about voting and the Haitian community. I forgot to mention the provisional ballot, but it's so important to have that option just in case you lost your ID, something happened. You need to go and ask for provisional ballot.
No, that's great. It's great that we talk about that.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that on my list at all. I also love the fact that you talked about for those who have voted with a ballot, please take the time to check in and make sure it was accepted.
Yes.
Because you still have the time. If
yes.
you don't check
you
it
can
now,
check it.
It will be too late. So if you voted early and you send your ballot in, please take the time to go and online and make sure it was accepted.
Yes.
So your vote could be counted this time. How can people follow you? Where can they find you and see the work that you are doing?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook. I'm on all the platforms: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can more than like usually it's Mary Estimate Irvin. On Facebook, it's Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. You can follow me there. On Instagram is Mary Estimate Irvin. On Twitter is also I have my Mary Estimate Irvin and Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. So just follow Councilwoman Mary Estimate Irvin on all of the platform, and you'll be informed. Marjorie, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a pleasure. You're doing a great work. One thing that I wanted to underline, because I know you talk about leadership and economic stability, and what we need to realize is voting helps that economic stability, especially in our community. If you have people like you and I that you put into power, you put us into power to help establish or improve the economic situation that's going on in your community. So voting is just important all around.
All around. It's like a Maggie, lot sauce.
Good sauce.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I hope that I get to speak with you again later on after everything is all said and done. And hope we'll be able to celebrate together and
Yes.
about what the future holds. And after the election is all said and done, there is a lot more work to be done.
Yes.
Start there. It's only the beginning. There'll be no ideas. There'll be no projects for the community. And I know you are very active. So I look forward to seeing the work that you are doing, and hopefully we'll be able to talk again about what matters to our community. Once again, thank you for being with us here this evening.
Thank
Right,
you for the invitation.
West tonight, you need it. You've been up all day, and I know you will have an early day and the days to come until election night. So thank you for your service. Thank you for representing the single women out there who are doing it. They're fighting the daily challenges, but doesn't let that stop them from unleashing their potential and being their best. You are a great role model. I look up to you and appreciate all the work that you are doing. So thank you once again.
Thank you for the work that you're also doing in the community. Thank you for your voice, and continue to motivate our community to take it to a higher level.
Absolutely. Sky is the limit for all of us.
Yes.
All right. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. Merci pour regarder sur Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It is always a pleasure to serve, and as part of inspiring, motivating, this is part of the work as well, and it's important to everyone. Do your part. We can all be invaluable in so many ways. Use your knowledge, use your skills to help those who are less fortunate for whatever reason. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you sometimes this week. Who knows? It's election time.
Yeah.
But I will definitely see you next week. Have a great evening. Stay safe. I know it's Halloween. Let's do it safely and be responsible. Happy Halloween if you celebrate. If you don't, have a great evening and enjoy the weekend. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great evening. Thank you.
Bye.